Hi, my friends. This is Lada from astrolada.com with your weekly horoscope for the 14th till the 20th of January. And I am including the eclipse in this one because the whole week leading up to the eclipse, which is on Sunday for Europe, sorry, on Sunday for the States and on Monday for Europe, because they're a bit ahead. Ahead. It's the whole week is under the influence of this eclipse, and it's always a tumultuous time between two eclipses. We're in between the previous one, the solar eclipse finished, and now a lunar one is going to come, and it's kind of a bit like feeling in the twilight zone between two eclipses, between a hard rock and what do they call it? So there was some expression, and some of you might feel like that pressed a little bit, and amidst uncertainty and amidst chaotic circumstances, or amidst big life changes. Not everyone gets affected by all the eclipses. I'll show you how to see if this eclipse will personally affect you. Yes, it will affect certain area of your life, but for some of you might be just emotionally. For some of you might be just like thinking about certain things. But some of you, it can actually turn your life around, change it 180 degrees, like it happened with me in the most important events always in my life. They were preceded or they happened before or a little bit after an eclipse, usually a month before or 2-3 months after. This is the time when eclipse is active. All of them, my pregnancy, my meeting my husband, my divorce, all important, events usually tend to coincide with the eclipse that triggers some personal point in your horoscope. And this is going to be a horoscope almost like this horoscopes that I'm giving you guys, they're probably the most astrologically correct one, because I'll show you how to use the tools that I have created for you for free. I've been, working for the last 3 years to create this tool, free transits for you. A lot of you have already registered. If you have an account there, you can just go and check your transits for the next week for free. Every 7 days ahead, you can see for free, and you can unlock further if you want. By paying a little amount, but I'll show you how to see if it will turn your life around truly, or if it's gonna be more like on the emotional, astral, psychological level that you feel it. But still, even if you're not one of those people that their life is changing drastically through the eclipse, you feel between two eclipses this kind of emotional angst or emotional restlessness, because you're feeling collectively that during eclipses is when the fates of humans and are being aligned, and the fates of the world are being aligned, like the rails of a train are kind of changing. What is that called? Like derailing in a different direction. So especially the most psychic and people that are in tune, they kind of feel that something big is happening. They can't put their finger on it, but there is this kind of restlessness, this kind of feeling like foreboding sometimes, because eclipses, they hide the light, the light of the moon or the sun, which are life-giving for us. So there might be a feeling of, something here at top of my stomach, because the stomach is our intuitive brain. And that's where you feel it's like something, I feel a bit unsettled. I'm not sure what it is, but like, and it might not at all affect your life. It might be just a feeling. If it does not fall personally on a planet of yours, that I'll show you how to check, it's not, basically this eclipse is going to just give you that presentiment of something big happening. It might be on the world level as well. But usually when an eclipse happens, a month before that and 3 months after that is when you can observe the effects. And this is the last eclipse in Leo. It's the eclipses in Leo started from 2016, so 2 years, almost 2 years and something. This is the last one. And every single eclipse in Leo, because this is where my moon is, where my 7th house is, and of course always the opposite eclipses are in Aquarius. This is my ascendant. Every one of them made a fated event in my life. I got married when there was an eclipse. I got divorced and married within a few months of an eclipse in my 7th house on the moon. I got pregnant on the same eclipse, on the next eclipse again that fell my moon, pregnant, and now is the last one in Leo. So there is, like, I call it like a grand finale, this eclipse. of the eclipses in Leo and Aquarius. No more. So the Leo people that have Sun, Moon, Ascendant in Leo or Aquarius are being left alone to rest for the next 9 years until the next set of eclipses come again into their sign. And everyone has Leo and Aquarius somewhere in their horoscope. You know, if you're Virgo, Leo and Aquarius fall in your 12th and 6th house. So you were learning also, and you're going through some fated events connected to the 6th and 6th and 12th house. And I'll go through the 12 houses, through the 12 signs, basically. But look at them from your ascendant, from your moon, and from your sun to see the major fated changes that have been happening, the major fated developments, because the nodes of the moon that cause the eclipses, Rahu and Ketu, are basically the ones that are responsible for the spiritual and material development. Rahu for the material, for the big material fated events, Ketu for the spiritual big shifts within us. So the evolutionary progress of a human being, spiritually and materially, because we're both, are indicated by the eclipses. And the eclipses are caused by the north and south node, and they have moved already into Cancer and Capricorn since November. But the last eclipse, they're still very close to the signs of Aquarius and Leo, is happening now. So there's a grand finale, something is culminating, something is ending, there is a conclusion. You can see the results of some big shifts that you did over the last 2 years, or you can see the ending of such kind of big surprises and changes that are coming. And let me write to you here, Leo is where the actual lunar eclipse is happening, while the sun is in Aquarius. Here it is. So this axis will be activated for absolutely everyone. This axis will be in some way, but only a few of you will feel it very powerfully. And let's start. Okay, well, let's. I want to know, maybe I should leave the 12 signs again, because I want to explain you the astrology, not only of the eclipse, but also of the other influences that are happening. So there will be culminations, there will be a grand finale, there will be endings, and it might be quite surprising endings, because Uranus is squaring from around here. Square is a kind of a something that puts, like, you see, puts like a little bit of a forceful change, because Uranus is about change. So we're ending on a bang, the series of eclipses in Aquarius and Leo. So on a bang, you're seeing the results. Maybe those results will be surprising for some of you, unexpected. And in my monthly January videos for each of the 12 signs, I speak how it's going to affect each of the signs personally more in depth. I'll mention it quickly in this weekly prediction as well, but I want to focus on the other influences that are happening as well. And before I proceed, just to let you know, we have a few more spots left for the seminar, the summer retreat in Bulgaria, in my birthplace, with Nicola Stojanovic, where we're doing predictive astrology for 3 days, 6 hours a day. We're also going to one of the most ancient astrological sites. It's they say 10 to 7,000 years old. You'll see where the real astrology originated from and where it was all happening in a megalithic times. It's a megalithic healing energy it's like astrology clock, basically. And we're going partying as well. And we're having lots of fun, because it's one of the biggest partying areas in Bulgaria, but it's also very peaceful, lots of big beaches. And so take your spot, check it out, the retreat with me, Nicola Stojanovic. We have 40 people already. And we want to keep it within 60 people possibly, so we can put personal focus and attention to everyone. It's my first one. I'm super excited. We have so many cool people coming. I'm so excited. Anyway, so going back to this weekly prediction, let's check out what is the 2019 calendar. What is it showing? Here it is. Oops. There we go. This is my 2019 calendar. You can order it for $30. It's one of the best-selling products. We haven't had a single one return. I think maybe just one out of thousands. So here it is. Let's see, for January starting from the 14th till the 20th. Here you see the full moon. The eclipse is shown on the 21st, but in Europe it's happening on the 20th. And the whole week for preceding the eclipse is under the influence of the eclipse. You know, those energies are shifting, people are feeling it. And the whole week after that, in particular, these are more red zones. You have to be careful to around the 26th, you know, because usually the biggest events happen a week or two before, 2-3 weeks after the eclipse, but especially a week before, a week after. I'll tell you just at least the next 3 days after the eclipse, so 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, to be more cautious, not to take rash decisions unless the decisions take you themselves, because when it's a fated event, you think you're taking the decision. No. You know, just like when you fall in love suddenly with someone, you think you took the decision consciously. No, you can't control those things. So when someone dies, you know, it's sometimes situations require you they're not controllable, they're not about how you react. But anyway, the whole week it's kind of you know, gearing up to this super blood moon eclipse. It's a very powerful eclipse because the moon is closest to the earth, so it looks much bigger than normal, and it's a total eclipse, full moon, total lunar eclipse. So Leo, because it's in Leo, Leo does not do things in small. They do it with a bang, grand. It's the final curtain of the eclipses in Leo, and it's just the universe wants to say, okay, I will exit like a king with a full moon spectacular eclipse that will be seen through so many places around the world, so many people will be influenced. So keep your cool. And again, full moon is when the moon is opposite the sun. Emotions are their highest. People with mental instability and disorders will be kind of definitely more sensitized. You know, they call them lunatics sometimes because they react to the moon. But we're all lunatics at some level. So definitely, it's you know, the little primal and intuitive being in us will be awakened, even if it's just in feelings. So you see how there are. The week starts with Mercury sextile Neptune. It's a weak aspect. It's gentle. So Monday, let's see what it is good for. Let's see. Mercury becomes invisible on the 5th. It's okay. Mercury, we spoke about the previous week, but Mercury sextile Neptune, it's very gentle influence, but good for creative mental tasks, for supportive conversations, for social contacts. It's also good for marketing, advertising, because Neptune is about creating imagery. Neptune is about spinning tales, about presenting something in a better light than it is. But Mercury is about anything business, communication. So you're going to use your words, and generally people throughout the world in a more subtle, in a more, usually for good, because sextile means for good. They're not going to be distorted and twisting the truth in a way that they'll sell you something, or that they'll promise you something in a way that is not truthful. They'll just present it in a more alluring light. And as I say, reading, writing about spiritual, inspirational, emotionally uplifting topics. And then we have this important transit, Venus trine Mars. And that's, I like it because actually it says last 1 or 2 days. It's on January the 18th. But I'll tell you that they're quite aligned with the trine almost till Friday, almost till the eclipse. So they're kind of parallel. They're almost moving with the same speed. And they're kind of the whole week, they're almost in a trine. And this is a very positive aspect. Venus and Mars. After that, we have Mercury conjunct Pluto, but I'll come back because I want to speak more about Venus and Mars trine, because before the eclipse, almost the whole week is under the influence of this positive transit. So something is helping us before the fireworks of the grand finale show of the eclipse in Leo, you know. So we have Mercury Pluto. So I'll come back to the Venus trine Mars, but Mercury conjunct Pluto on the same day. You're thinking is deep, some deep intuitive conversations. They might put your thoughts on a loop, you know, and you know, everything that you read here. I'm not going to go through it. A lot of people have the calendar, you know, Communication can have some power struggles in it, but it's usually quite mentally, helps you with a powerful mental focus, with deep insights. Fantastic for astrology, interpreting astrology or occult information. Almost like during such moments when you have some suspicions and intuitions mentally, or by observing the facts, they're true, or you can discover some secret of some sort. And then we have January the 19th, Sun square Uranus, but that's part of already the eclipse. So after January 18th, the energy becomes way less stable. So up to January 19th, there is supportive influences. January 19th, it starts getting wonky, and we have to step more carefully. And, you know, it's, as you can see, Sun square Uranus is about sudden change of plans, disruptions. Uranus is also squaring the moon during the eclipse, which is the next day. So surprising things. Expect the unexpected towards the weekend and on Monday. What can I say? You can feel restlessness, boredom, as I say, nervous energy. Uranus is definitely rules the nervous system. It affects two of the planets, the sun and moon, that rules our vitality, our body. Just people who feel more restless, do some physical exercise, but not too dangerous, so you don't incur some kind of physical accidents of some sort. Ground yourself is possible, because Uranus can give you amazing flashes of inspiration as well, but they're in such a way that it can feel disruptive to your whole energy. And I'm a very Uranus person, and for me, every time Uranus makes aspects, even difficult ones, I flare up with ideas. But it can be compared to an inflammation that I get so excited I can't sleep, I can't eat, and you know. And also you can have some, towards the end of the week, towards January the 19th, some kind of unexpected behaviors from males and women on the next day, because the moon squares Uranus. So men can be erratic, unpredictable. Bosses, there can be some, you know, conflicts or surprises with men and bosses, you know, all of those things. But I wanted to speak more about the Venus trine Mars. And that's very supportive influence. And as I said, it's active almost till the 19th, the whole week, I would say. It's good for any beauty procedures. Mars is intervention. Venus indicates beauty. And when they're well aligned in a good aspect, do such things, it can be positive. You can receive some presents, and some socializing is good, maybe to take off the pressure. The sexes, female and male, synchronize well as well. And it can be good for dates. We're in between eclipses, but maybe a date or something romantic, some good social event with friends, it will go well. And they can be even some kind of sparks, and men and women interact well and in an excited way without clashing with each other. That's, you know, that's, I would say, starting from the 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. This is when it's aligned almost all those days. But I wanted to show you how to see who is affected the most, and how to see if it's going to affect you personally, because it's happening for everyone, those transits. And because of that, you're not sure, you know, like, you're like, how could this happen for everyone? Well, just for people, they'll feel it the most that actually have transit. So who will feel the most this positive Venus trine Mars transit? Go to the personal transit calendar. You know how to do that already. I've showed you. Basically, if you're here in Astrolada, you can go to dash or register. I've logged out, but you can make an account by registering here, or you can, if you have already an account, log in. I have my information put in already and saved. And you log in, then you come to your account. You can enter here, add a new person. You can add your personal data. You can add a friend or whoever you want to see for a whole week ahead. Always it's free. I already have my peeps here. So let's see. Let's see, Mila, is she going to be affected by the positive influence of Venus-Mars trine? Because here you see your personal transits, but you don't see, and the personal transits, how do you see what I'm talking about for everyone if it's affecting you personally? Of course, you can click on your transits and read what it means, how you're going to feel, you know, for each day, or you can just click here let's see, in 30 days view. That's easier. So you can click on that day and check what are all the transits and click on them one by one and comment below how you felt on that day, you know. But let's see, 30 days view. I haven't unlocked a transit, but you see for 7 days ahead, basically. And you have to check, maybe go on Monday or Tuesday when these ones are unlocked for the next 3 days, because you see only 6, 7 days at a time, or unlock yourself a month. But if you see, but because we're talking for the middle of the week, which is around here, if you're going to feel the Venus Mars trine influence, you have to see if you have any Venus transits to your personal planets, easy ones, or any Mars. The Venus transits are always in pink. Here is the legend. Venus is in pink. The Mars transits are always in red. Because it's an easy aspect, you're looking for a trine or sextile that Venus would make to your personal planets in your horoscope. So here, and it shows here, when you put your cursor here, it says trine. Trine is a good one. Trine, conjunction, and sextiles of Venus or Mars will definitely help you. Things will be happen magically easy. So you definitely benefit here. She has Venus trine Venus, fantastic. She'll feel Venus trine Mercury. She'll feel the Venus trine Mars, basically. Venus conjunct the first house. Wow, I mean, Mila, you'll be faring pretty well next week. Let's say this is help support, being charming, things aligning for you, inspiration, you know. Wow, the Mars aspects, but only good for look for the good ones. And she also has Mars aspect, but one difficult one. So it's not gonna feel it here, but the conjunction, one Mars conjunction and one Mars conjunction with Mercury and with Venus. So she will feel it in so many areas in her life, this positive influence on Mars, Venus. And I wanted to show you how to check after that. And I'll speak about each of the 12 signs, how it's going to affect you personally. But it's most important that you will be helped the most if you have a Venus or Mars easy aspect, trine, conjunction, or sextile to any of your personal planets. So till the 19th, things will basically flow for you. It's fantastic for anything artistic, creative. It's fantastic for new endeavors because you're getting the support of the universe. Things flow and happen easily. You know, and here it is. I'm just putting mine. For mine, I have unlocked for 6 months ahead. And here, once you can see, or if you have them unlocked up to the 20th, 21st, or 19th, 20th, and 21st, around the time where the eclipse is, those 3 days, you can start even from the 18th up to the 22nd. If you see any transits of the sun, then the eclipse affects you very powerfully. But I want you to look only for the hard aspects of the sun, like the conjunction, opposition, or square. Here I have one with the sun, one is sextile, so it's positive influence. The eclipse is kind of help in certain area of my life. There is one trine. It's not gonna turn my life around. It's not gonna disrupt anything. But here it is a conjunction with the first house. Shit. The eclipse is falling on my first house. Basically, it's opposite. The moon is in Leo, but you see it through the sun. So the eclipse is happening on my axis of the first and seventh houses, which is, whoa, okay. Hope I don't get pregnant again or something like that. Or I hope like when there is an eclipse on your first or opposite your first house, you have to take care of your health to be well. Some big fated events happen, but the conjunction and the opposition will be the ones that you feel the most. So if you see sun conjunct sun, moon, or ascendant, or opposition, or square even, or if you see sun basically conjunct Venus, or opposition Venus, or square Venus, your love life can be affected totally and turned around from this eclipse. If it's conjunct, opposition, or square Mars, it's something connected to your endeavors and initiatives, or young males in your life. And whatever house Mars is situated, if the sun is affecting your Jupiter, conjunct or opposition, you can meet a marriage partner, life partner, or go through a divorce because Jupiter in a female horoscope indicates the husband. And so you can check different planets. If it's Saturn, some older person in your life, big fated events, or something to do with your work, or something to do with your responsibilities and duties that is shifting in your big way. If it's conjunct square opposition the moon, it's your personal life that is going through big transformations and that the big changes are happening. If it's square conjunct opposition your and something to do with women or motherhood or parenthood, big fated events with a bang. If it's connected to your son, it's career, important man, father, husband, your goals in life and direction. If it's the ascendant, the overall direction in your life. If it's your seventh house, it's relationships, So, wow. But we'll go through each, because, and if you don't have on those few days exact conjunction or opposition of the sun to some point in your horoscope that you'll see there, the sun aspects of yellow, you're not going to feel this eclipse so much. You're going to feel it on some kind of a emotional level. You might think about it in some way, maybe not exactly visible developments though. So the one you can see how this is super personal prediction. I'm not doing like yes I'll do for each of the 12 signs, but if it doesn't affect something in your horoscope, if you don't see a transit there of the sun around those days, it's not going to be life changing. It's going to be more like a completion, and it's going to feel like you might be reminiscing and thinking about the changes that happen and realizing that you're moving to a next set of life events. All right, so let's go through the 12 signs now. Okay, starting from Aries. So for you Aries, as we said, we have also Venus here in your sign. So for many Aries, especially Venus and Venus, that's Mars. Mars is here, Venus is in Sagittarius. So that is making the good aspect here, Venus and Mars, that is helping you to around the 19th of January. So for Aries in particular, it's extremely helpful. And again, as I said, especially if Venus and Mars make a trigger or transit to planets in your horoscope, like I showed you how to check an easy aspect, conjunction, opposition, or conjunction, sextile, trine. But for all Aries generally, the Mars trine Venus, you'll receive some support or some help, generally in relationships as well between the different sexes. You can be something good can happen with your personal initiative, Mars in the first house, which gives you good results in regards to some teaching project or something to do with traveling. Maybe something even it can be positive for traveling somewhere. It can be positive for learning something new. You can feel inspired and excited of some studies that you're making, some new knowledge that opens doors for you. And it's your personal initiative can easily, because the ninth house is also the big things you want in life, the next big thing, the exciting inspirations that you have, that Venus aligning with Mars in the first and the ninth will help you with your personal actions, kind of align you towards achieving those big vision, or give you a new inspiration that will lead you, that this new inspiration that you find now that will inspire you for some time, and especially something connected to knowledge and opening doors to you. Also, if you have a relationship with someone in a foreign country or far away, things can go quite well, this week, because of the good alignment of Venus and Mars at the beginning of the week. After that, we don't know. And then the eclipse falls in your 5th and your 11th houses. It's a culmination and an ending of some serious life changes that have been happening in regards to children, creative projects, love affairs, and in regards to your social life goals, achievements, titles and honors, important social personas. It can be something with a bang that happens for you, especially if the eclipse is making an aspect, as I said, the conjunction and the opposition that you can check in the free birth transit calendar will mean definitely you feel that. Uh, Otherwise, it can be just the combination of big fated events that involved. And I told you I was an Aries, and the eclipses for the last 2 years have been happening in my fifth house. And for children, I really hope it's not the third child. Or it's just like, or you can just realize it's the ending of a big cycle. And the last challenges or the last changes in regards to children, love life, or fated events connected to those 11, and friends as well, friends, social circles. And the 11th house is also business, business contacts, business social influence as well. Your fans, the 11th house is your fans, the 5th house is your celebrity, your person as a, your personal creative genius. As a matters connected to that can be very much to the forefront and enhanced. And it can be also the completion of some kind of long long-term goals and stuff, but definitely the focus is mostly towards the 5th house. If you're Taurus, Venus trine Mars is helping you in your more emotional world the first part of the week till the 19th, because it's happening in your 12th and in your 8th house. So maybe you can receive some private support from someone, with some private relationship or communication, or if you have a private affair, it can go well. Or you can even, what can ground you and give you a sense of pleasure is like longing for someone secretly, or your imagination, imagining something. Both the 12th and the 8th house are connected to sex. The 12th house is the bed chamber, the bed pleasure. 8th house is intimacy, and penetration. So that can be actually good, Taurus, for your sex life the first few days of the week, or at least to fantasize, however you get your, blood going. And your imagination is supportive. Your inner thoughts, they can be overactive. You might be finding it hard to sleep with Mars in the 11th, but Venus is lining up with it, and maybe some pleasurable imagination, but also it stabilizes your feelings. These are feeling houses for you, Taurus, especially if you're Taurus rising, Taurus moon, and Taurus sun. Your feelings are more stabilized, and despite of being in between two eclipse seasons, Taurus, the alignment of Venus Mars kind of gives you to be more of a rock, more stable emotionally. You might be receiving some hidden or private support through prayer, 12th house, through something spiritual, through occult knowledge, through astrology, 8th house, through listening to some kind of, through self-analysis, self-introspection, through spiritual work, all those houses, so like that. Also, there can be some good developments connected to some foreign travel or affairs or private affairs that are secret, and also something connected to the 8th house as well. There can be some good positive developments with taxes, with insurances, with other people's resources. So even some help can come to you from another person, or some client's money or resources or advice from there, something that you receive somehow. And on another level, the eclipse is happening in your 4th house. So it's culminating after 2 years, and 12 and the 10th house. So it's the last of those eclipses. So the last sudden changes and fated events connected with your personal life, home, family, place of living, and your career and social status can happen now, particularly if the sun, like I showed you on the start of the video, how to see in your transit calendar, if the sun on the 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd will make, if the sun will be making, even to the 23rd, will be making some conjunction or opposition to anything in your horoscope. The square as well, but then it can create some life-changing shifts for you in the next, and maybe it started already, but in the next couple of months, 2-3 months. But for you, Taurus, generally the fated events connected to personal life, place of living, family, home, and career, social status are either completing, you're seeing the results of them. You might even gain something, because this eclipse is with the North Node. But it's an ending and a big shift and a culmination there There can be some surprises as well. Okay, so if you're Gemini, your Venus trine Mars is helping you till the 19th, the first part of the week, in regards to your social life, because the 11th is friendship, social circle, your fans, your supporters, benefactors, your social environment generally, social groups. So something good can come there to you as a support. And the 7th house with Venus is your partnership. So this is a good time for a date, Gemini. The first part of the week, this is a good time even to receive compliments from others. So this is a good time for where something good can happen, that in the life of your partner or in a relationship with your partner. Maybe friends can introduce you to someone interesting as a relationship or business partnership, or maybe or acquaintances of some sort, or being part of some groups, social networks and links. You can meet someone that helps you in some way with support, not necessarily sexually. 7th house is not just relationships, it's also business relationships, collaborations. Or it can mean that your partner is more collaborative, more helps you. The 11th house is your goals. The 11th house is gains and earnings and goals, and your partner can introduce you or can help you with some goals of yours of some sort, or business partner or personal partner. Or it can also mean that you can your partner or someone close to you, one-to-one person, can introduce you to an important to someone important socially. Mars in the 11th house, who helps you fulfill your goals in some way. But contact network till the 19th is auspicious. After that, Venus and Mars start making hard aspects. I can't guarantee, but the first part of the week, if you have any, and the 11th and the 7th house are connected to business. 7th house is how you sell yourself to others, how others perceive you. And 11th house is gains and earnings and community, and the best business people, they create community around their brand. So if you're in business, personal business as well, that can be very good week till the 19th for you, Gemini. For contacts, for networking, for reaching out larger audiences, for making some agreements as well. But the eclipse is happening in your 3rd and in your 9th houses. It's concluding a series of eclipses, which will not repeat for 9 years, that created some shifts in regards to your 3rd and 9th houses. So big shifts, it's conclusion, grand finale of changes regarding matters connected to education, to studies, to new schools, to new skills, to some major matters connected to relatives, siblings, co-workers, teammates, to business projects as well. The 3rd house is another business house, commerce, commercial transactions and activities, and anything to do with your belief systems, higher knowledge, your outlook on the world. And the 9th house is the father figure and teacher figures. Some developments, some major developments can be there, and anything to do with legal matters, traveling abroad, relocations as well. 3rd and 9th house is an axis of moving somewhere. But again, this will manifest materially only if the sun, when you check, if you want to know personally, go to the transit calculator, transit calendar on my website, like I showed you, and see if around the days 21st, from the 19th till the 22nd, 23rd, if the sun is making conjunction or opposition or a square to any planets in your horoscope. If it is, you'll definitely feel powerful activation of those eclipses, some big changes happening with those 9th and 3rd house matters that I talked about. So your 9th house is your big visions, 9th house is your goals, what inspires you, your belief system. There can be some shifts there. The moon at the 3rd house is your daily activities, your daily routines and plans. That can be big changes as well. All right, if you're Cancer, and someone wrote to me last time, they said, why do you hate Cancer? They always give us the shortest readings. Cancers are my weakness, guys. Cancers are my best friends. Some of my best friends always are Cancers. They still are in my life. My husband is a Cancer. So it's cancers are my weakness. So for cancers, the first part of the week till the 19th, Venus trine Mars is happening in their 10th and in their 6th house. So what is helping them? What is helping them amidst this eclipse season, and what's going well for them the first part of the week is definitely matters connected to their work, matters connected to their career as well. Maybe someone, employee of theirs, can help you fulfill some career task, Mars in the 10th house, or maybe the employees or people that, you know, 6th house can be anyone that you're a manager from, anyone that is below you on the social, you know, power, and 10th house is you as a boss or you as a leader. So these things harmonize and they give good results. But what if you're the underdog and you're working for someone? Well, somehow your efforts will be noticed and respected by the bosses, or you're going to really help the boss or some way. And you can even approach, you know, because the work that you've done, which is the 6th house, will please people in authority. If you're self-employed, this is good because you'll get some work done behind the scenes, will perfect it. Just things will flow more when it comes to your work environment, work responsibilities and duties the first part of the week. And it's going to improve your social status. Plus Mars continues to be in your 10th house, Cancer. So plow through ahead with goals and careers. And actually getting involved in more practical things, because these are practical houses, is where things go well, like fulfilling your duties, going around certain tasks and errands, fixing things, you know, doing something practical, doing some work, so some chores for your work. Unless, of course, you know, you have to check your sun, moon, or ascendant. What happens if your ascendant is in Sagittarius? You know, it means that the Venus Mars trine will directly influence your love life. So this can mean something extremely positive. And if my friend is watching who is Sagittarius rising, Cancer moon, she knows. So they can be something lovely that comes to you while you're away, my darling, because of your Sagittarius rising in your love life. Anyway, going back to just Cancer sun, moon, or ascendant. But otherwise, this is supportive for practical, for work matters, even for your health in some way, for the outer circumstances to the 10th house is outer circumstances to align and to help you with to solve some problems as well. The 6th house is death as well, working on some matters connected to death and stuff. Death, not death, death. And to kind of to do some things that are more healing for your body, that are more healthy for you as well. And the 10th house is the house of action. So your actions, your Mars is there, makes you more active to get some work done, makes you more initiative, to fix some problem, makes you more initiative to take better care of your health, and you know, all those things. All right. But then the eclipse is happening in your 2nd and in your 8th house. So it is the grand finale, the ending of a series of 2 years eclipses happening there. So again, who will feel it the most? If you're Cancer, sun, moon, or ascendant, you will feel some changes, some big developments in regards to your personal resources and the resources of your partner, or in regards to what you contribute to a relationship compared to what a partner contributes to a relationship, personal or business, or give and take, emotionally, psychologically, or materially in the business or personal relationship. Some big shifts will happen. Plus, also the 8th house is the house of big changes that might have been happening on a secret level, psychological secret level, with something that is not addressed directly. So privately, some private things that you've been doing. It's a culmination of the spirit. It can be an ending and of finishing of all this. But otherwise, there can be some important developments with matters connected to financial security, material security, and you know, this 2nd, 8th houses, and also important to taxes, insurances, inheritances of some sort. And that can be, you know, some fated events. For some of you, it can mean like a big financial remuneration suddenly. But you only know if it will manifest materially if you are, if the sun in the free transit calendar from the 18th to around the 22nd, 23rd of January is making conjunction or oppositions to any planets in your horoscope, then this eclipse, you will definitely feel it somehow in regards to the second or to the ninth house that I spoke about. Something private, something sexual as well. It can be some important event because the eighth house is sexual intimacy or some secret. Something connected to other people's resources, so your resources, so also food and eating and food habits of some sort, and possessions and assets, you know. All right, if you're Leo, the sun, the Venus trine Mars is happening in your 5th and 9th houses. Yes, good. So the first part of the week, you're around 19th or 18th. Leos can, especially if as I showed you in the first part of the video, if Mars or Venus are making personal transits to any of your planets, the red transits or the pink transits with conjunction, sextile, or trine, wow, if you're one of those, some really wonderful things will happen to you in regards to your love life, in regards to something good, some inspiration. The 5th and the 9th houses, when Mars and Venus are trining, they will make you feel happier. 5th house is to feel like a child, to feel the joy, to be able to enjoy yourself, to create, to co-create, and to have fun, to feel like life is fun, you know, and you're co-creator. We go. The 9th house is the house of feeling meaning and purpose. So somehow for a few days you can feel this. You can feel more joyful. You can feel more aligned, especially, as I said, if Venus or Mars make easy aspect to your personal planets, which you can check on the birth chart calculator. Then you're like, yes, and something can really help you be luckier. I cannot tell you specifically, but it might be with something that you truly, some big goal, that 9th house is some big vision for the future of yourself, that something can happen or help you align, find the right things for that vision, find the right answers, give you answers to big questions in life. What's my purpose? Where am I headed? Or what should I study? Or what is, what is, and you can receive some guidance from someone 9th house that is going to be very correct as well. Someone 9th house is like a gurus, advisors, astrologers, people that are trying to give us direction, especially astrologers that are trying to point you in the right direction, that are trying to help you see the big picture, or any advisor and mentor can do that, and you're going to receive good support and help and inspiration. Or you might just read a book or watch a blog or podcast, and you'll feel inspired, and ideas will come to you. The 5th house, where Venus is the house of intelligence and new ideas that you come. The 9th house, a house of guidance from those with learned people with experience that you expect. So higher knowledge, or just from your intuition from God above. So things like that will align for you, that you get answers, that you feel luckier, that you feel inspired, that you find answers to some questions. Plus, on a more mundane level, good dates can happen, 5th house, or just like good parties to have fun, the 5th house. Also, if you want to travel somewhere, it can align well, Mars in the 9th house. Or if you want to study something, if you want to go on some course and get some higher knowledge. And funny, I'm Leo Moon, and I've bought up so many courses on psychology, on tantra, on relationships, so many courses on. So because I'm developing a system, guys, which I want to bring out by 2020, and it's going to involve astrology and esoteric chakra work, and it's going to involve, I'm just working here on something, and I feel so inspired. So hopefully in a year or two, once I'm ready, we're going to make like huge world events that we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Maybe it's Neptune square Jupiter currently that's happening, so I'm like, whew, gone with the fairies. So dreaming too much unrealistically away. But anyway, so you feel some inspiration. Okay. and good for dates and all those things. So matters connected to children can go very well till the 18th, 19th. After that, Venus and Mars start making hard aspects. So towards the end of the week, it might feel different, but enjoy till it lasts. And then the eclipse is happening in your sign, Leos, in 0 degrees. So if you have anything at 0 degrees, I would say actually up to 4 or 5 degrees in Leo, 0 to 4 or 5. Like I have my 7th house cusp there. Relationships, business partnerships. I've been changing so many since the eclipses started on the axis of the 1st and the 7th for me. But anyway, and I have my moon there. But if you see, like I showed you how to see that around the days of the eclipse, if from the 18th till the, just look for the week ahead. If you see sun transits, conjunction or opposition to anything, or even a square, wow, big shifts will happen personally for you. Look around the days of the eclipse, 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd. If the sun, the yellow transits are making square, conjunction or opposition, your life can change. And in the axis of relationship, business partnerships, or personal, and I can tell you, since the eclipses happened here, marriages, divorces for me, divorces, marriages, lots of new business partnerships, all one finishing. So many fated changes in relationships have been happening for me. And is the conclusion is the end, hopefully for you as well. But because the eclipse is in Leo, it's in your personal direction and life that something's happening. Like your life can turn 180 degrees, surprisingly. And it can be something of a personal nature because it's a lunar eclipse, something connected more to family, to personal matters. But generally, it's like your whole focus, whether it's your sun that the eclipse is falling on in Leo, moon, or ascendant. And if your sun, moon, or ascendant are in the later degrees, you can just feel like a reminisce about all the changes. They can be, you can see the results of the changes that have been happening, and you can almost feel like a relief after the eclipse, that you can feel it instinctively that no more such big shifts will be happening and surprises in that area. But there's still the last one if you're falling on those degrees. So your whole overall health, if your ascendant on the moon falls in those first few degrees, be careful. I'm not going to be going out driving. Not that I can drive, but better not. Yeah, just be careful. But you can take some big decisions, and life can force you to take some big decisions in regards to your direction in life, in regards to your personal, and it might be even out of your control. Like life might take those decisions for you, and the personal direction in your life. Important if it falls on your sun, male figures, fathers, bosses, career, big shifts for those things. And that's the last thing. After that, they're no more. If it's your moon, parenthood, motherhood, relationships, the moon is connected to important women, mothers. Oh my God, my mom's son is there. I hope she'll be healthy and okay. But something is, and because the eclipse is with the North Node, Leo, it can give you something actually, the results. It can give you the results. It can give you a completion, a culmination. But there's definitely some surprises that are coming in the next 3 months, already from around the eclipses, that can change your plans a lot, but they're fated, But just take care of your health. That's important for your safety. If you're Virgo, the Mars square trine, the good aspect, is happening in Virgos 1, 2, 3, 4, the 4th and the 8th houses. So these are personal houses, these are psychological houses. So you're receiving moral, emotional support somehow. You're staying amidst those 2 eclipses and the turbulent energies around them. You're staying more grounded than others. It's kind of all the earth signs are feeling that. And you're feeling, especially you can receive support and help from your family, the 4th house, and some private support as well, the 8th house. It can also be some good developments that happen in regards to property, place of living, relocation till the first part of the week. And especially if you see that in the next week, Venus or Mars will be making trines, sextiles or conjunctions to planets in your horoscope. Definitely some positive developments with mother figures, with nurturing figures, with in regards to parenthood, in regards to duties and responsibilities with family and home property, buying maybe something nice for your home, decorating it, you know, or just receiving support and help from family. Plus, the 8 houses with Mars, you can do some positive strides forward. Mars is forward movements and initiatives in regards to taxes, insurances, inheritances. You can receive some help there, you know, and good developments in regards to intimacy as well. The 8th house is one of the houses of intimacy, like penetration. So there can be some more better sensual, sexual things happening for you. And psychologically, you can feel a bit more stable, unless, of course, you have some other personal transits that are motherfucker. But, you know, otherwise, this will stabilize you. And you can receive private support. You can even receive something. You can move into the 17th, 18th ahead with some kind of a mutual resources, some mutual investments, or resources that are connected to other people. You can receive some good news there, or clients, resources, some money, or something like that. All right. And the eclipse for you is happening, Virgo, in your 12th house in particular, but it's on the axis with the sun in the 6th house. So the 6th and the 12th house for Virgo is where the eclipse is happening. You see, Virgo here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6th house and 12th house. So this is the culmination of a series of eclipses that have been changing your life in regards to, for the past 2 years, in regards to your health habits, in regards to your daily routines, in regards to work environment as well, and in regards to how you escape, how you relax, how you take care of your spiritual self. And because it's with Rahu, the 12th house eclipse with the moon can indicate something connected to faraway countries and foreign countries, some big changes with places that are connected to foreign places as well that are happening. But generally, you can take a breath after this final eclipse there in regards to big changes regarding your health, 6th house, big changes regarding your mental and psychological and spiritual and emotional and physical health, and big changes in regards to some shifts to foreign countries or activities, or big changes in regards to work duties and responsibilities. But because it's the last eclipse, if the sun, like I showed you, is making conjunction or opposition to some personal planet in your horoscope, how I showed you to check for the week around the days of the eclipse, the yellow transit, then it might be the last time there is some big changes there, with in regards to something to do with foreign countries, in regards to something to do with some expenses, the 12th house, in regards to something to do with work and work responsibilities and duties and work environment and health. All right. If you are Libra, Venus, Mars, Trine, the first part of the week is happening in regards to your 3rd and in regards to your 7th houses. Good, the social houses. So Libras can have to around the 18th, 19th some positive developments in their relationships. So partner can somehow have good conversations with partners, business or personal, or clients. The 3rd and the 3rd, 7th, and the 11th houses, but these are the social houses, are the business houses. When they're strong, a person can be a business person. So if you're in your own business, this trine here will help things go well there, because business is all about communicating, marketing, putting yourself out there in the public, your product, you know, you have to connect with others. So this is a good time to connect to others, to make contacts, to have important conversations, communications of some sort, even to do some trip, a short trip of some sort if you can, or to fulfill a lot of tasks that are more administrative, connected to writing, to speaking, to media, connected to admin work, 3rd house. It goes well, you know. And you definitely also can receive the support of partners in some sort. And after the 18th, 19th, Venus and Mars start making hard aspects from those from those communication houses, so things are not as good. So if you have some business deals to do, some important communications or conversations with personal partners, relationships or business ones, do them before the end of the week. Do them till Friday. After that, things get like a bit, do them in the middle of the week and things like that. If you are, then the eclipses for you are happening on the axis of the 11th and the 5th house. So it's the last time. It can be a last surprise for some of you, especially if the sun, like I showed you how to check around the days of the eclipse, 2 3 days before, 2 days before, 2 days after. So before from the 18th to the 22nd, if the sun is making square, conjunction or opposition to any of your personal planets, like you can see in the birth chart calculator. Sorry, in the transit calculator, I demonstrated you how to calculate that, guys. So please check it. So, but they can be last surprises and big shifts for you. They might be happening already or within the next 3 months. In regards to children, that's my husband. Why is it showing the same? That's my husband ascendant. Big surprises in regards to children, but it's like the culmination, no more after that. In regards to children, in regards to love life, in regards to some creative projects as well, some important developments, some fated ones, and especially because the eclipse is focused mostly here in the 11th house, and it's with the bang, it's a big one. It's especially some important changes in regards to your social network, in regards to some friends, like a culmination or ending of important developments with friends or friendship networks or some business connections. The 11th house is also a business house that are important and that are fated of some sort, and some large-scale events. You can see a combination of results if you've been planning some large event of some sort, including many people's large social event or network event of some sort, the 11th house. There might be some surprises because Uranus is making a hard aspect there, so go unexpectedly, or unexpectedly these things can manifest, but some important things are happening with your economic goals, with gains and earnings. You can actually see results here as well, but it's like the last shifts and the last big changes that are happening with your social network, friends, acquaintances as well. Fans is the 11th house. All right, so if you're a Scorpio, the Venus trine Mars, the first part of the week, is helping you in regards to material questions. You can receive something material because the Venus in the 2nd house. You can buy something you like, something you enjoy. You can enjoy better food or something that indulges the senses, more sensual. You can buy something you find attractive or receive such a thing, because Venus is receiving a good aspect from in the 2nd house. Good time to look for resources for your business and things like that. You can find more easily, but do it before the 18th, because after that it's Venus and Mars is starting to make hard aspects. So spendings you might regret after that, but till the 18th, 19th the latest, if you buy something, if you have some important financial transactions to do, they go well. Or if you have some important material assets to move, or something connected to your work as well, it goes well. You can receive and you can even work on some debt of some sort, and you'll do the right moves if you do them the start of the week till the 18th, 19th. After that, don't do it, because after that the energies Mars and Venus start making from those material houses for you of debt, money, and debt, hard aspects. You can be good time for the 2nd and the 6th house. The 2nd is what you put in your mouth. 6th house is health habits, so you can kind of think easier in regards to health habits. It can be easier for you now to maintain healthier lifestyle of some sort, to eat healthier, better, and stuff like that. And also 6th house is enemies. When Mars is there, if there's some enemies or some enmities and fights that you've been having with someone, you can smooth them out till around the 18th, 19th. After that, don't try to do it because it can get worse, because Venus and Mars starting to make squares to Saturn. Venus is starting to do, I forgot what, square to Neptune. So sort out matters at your work. You can get a lot of work done as well. The first part of the week, the 18th, 19th, responsibilities, duties at work, get a lot of things finished, because after that there is resistance and something starts to stagnate. Also, your health, it's good. You can heal from someone the first part of the week. But after that, you have to be a bit more careful again, because Mars starts making hard aspect from the 6th house. So your health can, again, can be some issues. But especially you can stabilize it with eating more healthily, for example. So use the good influence. So after that, you can stay strong at the face of the negative influences that come. So eat more healthy, more balanced till the 18th, 19th, and then, so your health stays stronger. Also do the work, duties, and responsibilities so you can benefit. All right, and the eclipse for you Scorpios is happening for the last time in the 4th and 10th houses. This was strongly felt by many Scorpios, because the 10th and 4th houses are pivotal houses. They're about your personal life and your social status, your career, your worldly responsibilities and duties, your reputation. So over the last 2 years, a lot of people that are Scorpio, their circumstances might, Scorpio sun, moon ascendant, their circumstances might have shifted if the eclipses affected, if the eclipses connected with them. And circumstances in their personal life, place of living, family circumstances, in regards to their social status, career, reputation. And this is the last one, the grand finale. You can see the results of something connected to your career and reputation, or the ending of some project, or the results of that project, or shift towards a career. And especially if this eclipse, if you look at your personal transits, the calendar that I have made for you for free, from the 18th till the 22nd, if you see that you have sun transit with the yellow, if the sun is making conjunction or opposition to anything in your horoscope, you'll see it there, to any personal planet, and also square. And as I said, the transits are written there, the name. You will feel this transit materially. It will manifest. It will manifest as some shift in your career, or some big finale, or some big results, or some big change in your social status, or with authority figures, with institutions, with career goals, some big projects, like, something is happening there. And even the personal life and place of living can be affected, and family. Otherwise, if you don't see specific transits that are affected, like, like sun conjunct 4th house, or opposition Mars, or your sun, or your Venus, you'll see there. Then it might be more like on the psychological level, you're feeling like something is completing, something is ending in regards to social status, place of birth, family, parents. So there can be some surprises still that come in regards to your parents, or place of living, or career, all those things we talked about. If you're Sagittarius, the trine between Venus and Mars is happening in your 1st and in your 5th houses. Good. So till the 8th and 19th, very supportive for your Sagittarius, especially Sagittarius who, have planets around those degrees, around the degrees where Venus and Mars are, the 11th, the 12th. So you can see that when you go to the free transit calculator, like I said, and see if you're having Mars or Venus transits, the sextile, trine, or conjunction, then wow, guys, this is your week. Like I showed you for Mila, she's Sagittarius ascendant, how her whole chart is lit up. Fantastic. Not that she's gonna go do business, but I'll carry her in my pocket as lucky charm, because she's having good transit. She'll bring it to me. So if you're having, so basically those positive things will come to you. It's like you attract positive circumstances. These are lucky houses, the 1st and the 5th. You're luckier till the 18th. After that, not, because Venus and Mars start making hard aspects from those houses. But if you have something important to do, Sagittarius, do it, till Friday. Saturday, basically. And you can, impress people with your charm, with your charisma. You can do some beauty therapies. The first house is appearance. You can improve your physical appearance in some way. You can do some sports as well that that you enjoy a lot. Mars from the fifth, that improve your look. So you can do even some interventions. Don't do it 2 days before the eclipse, at least, but something more like to improve your appearance. You can also impress others with your charm. You can also receive some positive developments in initiatives regarding to creative projects. You can feel more inspired. You can feel more joy from life. You can feel a bit more childlike. Mars in the fifth house, play around more. You can have and enjoy more of your hobbies and fun times. You can be more expressive with your talents and your gifts. You can be more forthcoming and initiative with such things and things that you enjoy. And it's good for going on a date as well, because Venus trine Mars in the fifth house, that can be quite enjoyable date, quite like fun, or anything like that. And some creative project can go well. If you're working on something, the inspiration can flow well. And after that, after the 18th, 19th, it starts getting, there'll be difficult aspects of Venus. But let's see what the eclipse is bringing for you, Sagittarius. It's happening in your ninth and it's happening in your third houses. So it's culminating a series of changes that might have happened in regards to your higher knowledge, to higher education, in regards to foreign countries, in regards to your social environment, siblings, relatives, schoolmates, flatmates. So maybe all those areas were being changed over the last 2 years. That's ending now with this last eclipse. Maybe some last big shifts. Again, if the eclipse directly affects you, you can see it if the sun is making conjunction or opposition to some planets in your horoscope, in your birth chart around the days of the eclipse, like I showed you. This eclipse definitely will affect you. You can see some big shifts and big fated changes in regards to higher education, what you're studying, your goals for the future, what inspires you, higher knowledge of some sort, something to do with teachers, something to do with if you're teaching yourself, some big shifts or some, you can see the results of that, some big changes that are happening with that. In regards to travels of any sort, there can be some important fated travels that this eclipse indicates for the next 3 months, and matters like that. And with father figures and teacher figures of some sort, and your plans for the future direction where you're pointing the arrow towards, there can be a big shift that's happening there. Your belief systems can changing for the last time, and that's it after that. And sometimes often it can indicate moving of some sort, because the axis of the third and ninth are connected to traveling, to moving. All right, so if you're Capricorn, Venus Mars trine in the first part of the week till Friday, it's helping you in the private area of your life, in your 12th and 4th houses. So what does it mean? You're emotionally stable in between the two eclipses. You kind of privately, you receive, can support privately from some private relationship, maybe a secret adore, or maybe someone that you're privately communicating with, that makes you, stabilizes you emotionally, or things go well there. Some secret affair. Who knows? But also these are just emotional, psychological houses, Capricorn. So it's almost like maybe you can get better sleep the first part of the week with Venus in the 12th, or you can even receive some good sensual imagery there. It can be good. The 12th house, it is connected to private chambers and the private bed pleasures. So, and Mars is a sexual planet and Venus is a sensual one. Some of you might work through the eclipses with a bit more sensual action or fantasies, if not. And if you're working on some project creatively behind the scenes, like in an artist studio or music studio, film studio, whatever, things go very well the start of the week. Your imagination works till Friday, do such things till then. Also, it's good for some travel to faraway countries or matters connected to faraway countries, do them then. And Mars in the 4th house tells you that you can and receiving a trine from Venus, you can get things done at your home. You receive help, you receive even pleasure and ease with some problem that you have to fix at home, or even help that you receive from family, help that you receive from close ones, or loved ones like pets, and family. Or you can fix something in your house and it goes well, and you can improve something there. Or if you're moving houses or something like that, it can go very well till the 18th. If you have anything to do with property, with personal life, with family, or with the 12th house matters, which is with spirituality, having a psychic reading, dream work of some sort, or private relationships, some sexual relationships in the private chamber, or some foreign travels, do it before the 18th, 19th, because then the planets are aligned well in those houses and it's gonna go well. You can receive some secret support or hidden support as well. And also it can mean that, what is it, that you can 12 house the house of expenses as well. Yes, you can spend on something enjoyable and beautiful, something that you find like a way of escaping, and something that you find even as an indulgence, but you'd like it and you'd enjoy it if you do it before the 18th, 19th. After that, it might be an expense that's a bit more forced for you. And then the eclipse is happening on the axis of the 2nd and the 8th house, with an emphasis on the 8th house. It's the last possibility for you Capricorns to have some quite 180 degrees change, because the 8th house, the house of sudden changes in life, and eclipses are very 8th house. Eclipses are, for me, an eclipse in an 8th house is like synonymous. When something passes through the 8th house, it's like, phew, it can spin out, in sudden change, the same ways with eclipses. So an eclipse in the 8th house, and they've been for 2 years, eclipses in your 8th house. So there might have been some sudden changes in your life circumstances, surprises. And if the sun is making conjunction or opposition to any personal planets in your horoscope, I showed you at the start of the video how to see, you'll see material results in your life. You, in a sense that you'll see your life can spin a lot, some surprises, something connected, sudden changes connected to taxes, sudden changes connected to insurances, to inheritances, very important developments, or resources if you're expecting from a partner, from a marriage partner, or from a business partner, some surprises can come there. But because it's with Rahu, this eclipse, I'm quite hopeful that those shocks and surprises that can come to you from another person or business partner or relationship partner, which is connected especially to mutual resources or to mutual trust, those surprises that can come will be bringing you something, because it's with Rahu. Rahu always gives something material. So if you're in court case for alimony of children or money or something with another, you can, this eclipse can signify that's the end over the maybe 1 more 2 months after that, or, around the eclipse, that's the end, but you receive something, or it can also indicate like suddenly if you've been working with a client, for example, and you've completed the project, now you can receive the money, or the whatever, it's the reward for, from another person's resources. But there was some big shifts in regards to your financial state over the last 2 years, personal and mutual, and also something to do with shifts connected to how you eat as well, materially, what you give and receive in relationships, how you nurture and how you're allowed to be nurtured in relationship, how much you give and get back. So that's the last. If there is some crisis in regards to that or changes, this is the last of it with this transit. All right, so if you're Aquarius, the Venus-Mars trine is happening in your 11th and in your 3rd houses. Hey, well, fantastic for business. These are business houses. 3rd, 11th, 7th, the social houses. So the 11th is your fans. So if you're a business owner, you need to reach out, larger audience, do it till the 18th, 19th, because planets are really well aligned in your house of communications. Do promotions, do sales, do advertising, connect with your audience, get in touch till the 18th, 19th. They'll be lovely towards you, your clients or your the social network. If you're not business owner, these are people that you communicate, like your friends. Something good can come to you from friends, some good times, some pleasant times, from relatives, siblings, people, workmates, teammates, third house, playmates, people that you meet on your daily way. You can meet important people, good people that help you in some way or that are supportive of what you're doing. They can give you some good ideas so things can flow well. Good for socializing, go to social events. If you're planning some big event, it goes well and it flows. Or if you're planning even some small circle event, 11th house is big, large number event. Third house is small collaborative event, goes well. Third house is also activities of business meetings, scheduling, planning, organizing. The third house is also connected to meetings where you do discussions. They goes well. If you have something to present to an audience, do it while the Venus is trine Mars, especially if you see that Venus or Mars in your birth transit. In the transit calculator on my website, if you see that during the middle of the week till the 19th, Venus or Mars are making trines or conjunctions or sextiles to any of your planets, socially, things will be so good for you guys. Socially and business-wise, and connecting with others and with friends, good results, After that, the planet starts, Venus and Mars start making hard aspects with Saturn, and funny enough, I basically kind of arrange interviews for those days, so maybe I won't be as happy. But after that, communications and social interactions with others might become more stressful. On another level, this is the last of the eclipses happening on the axis of Leo and Aquarius, with the grand finale, as I said, and it's happening, the last eclipse, in your 7th house, in our 7th house, right bang on my 7th house cusp, within 2 degrees. I'll be either getting married again, no, but there can be a big shift that is happening in the life that this eclipse symbolizes, and it's the last one of those in regards to your relationship over the next 3 months. I'll tell you, something happens. There's so many crazy transits that are going to happen to me. I think I'll surprise a lot of you. We're not divorcing, but I'll surprise you with some big life change that we're going to do. But yes, something big change happening in the life of your partner that affects you, or in a relationships. On a relationship, it might be the grand finale of a karmic relationship, or it might be the grand culmination of a relationship that signifies that you might get married over the next few months. Something big is shifting there, and is creating a big change in your life. Especially, as I said, if the sun is making conjunction or opposition around the days of the eclipse, so the 19th, 18th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, 2 planets in your horoscope, which you can see there, like I showed you at the example. Yes, so after that, no more such fated, and because I'm an Aquarius ascendant for the last 2 years, and Leo moon, so the eclipses have been affecting so many things. So divorce, marriage, 2 children, buying of property, all because of those eclipses on the axis. And if you're Aquarius, definitely you felt some big shifts happening in your relationships, and it's the last of it, or the culmination, or can be happy or negative depending. All right, and if you're a Pisces, and again, Pisces, for some reason Pisces always say you're shortest for Pisces, so I'm unsubscribing, but I love you, Pisces, the most. So I'm sparing you the shit. So I love Cancer and Pisces so much. They're my, I love all signs, but because they're so sensitive, and yeah, I kind of feel for them. But Pisces, the Venus trine Mars is happening to the first part of the week in your 2nd and 10th houses. So Pisces, you're receiving some material support. So these are practical houses, practical material houses. So maybe things go well with some purchases that you're doing, or you can buy something for your career or for your office that you invest in, it's good, but don't do it after the 18th, after the 19th. Why is that? Because then Mars starts making hard aspects from your second house, so expenses can come, and there, if you buy something, it's not well invested when it's during hard transit, so it can just be financially more heavy on you. But till the 18th, 19th, that's actually good. So you can invest, you can look for resources, be proactive, you will get good results. For your career, you can do something, you can be very practical, and you can receive help with some work project or support from some institution or organization or from a boss. If you're a boss, you can be very practical and get a lot of, you can get good things done in the first till Friday work week, basically, Pisces. And for your reputation, you can do the right things, and for the structure of your business or work as well. You can receive some help as well from second house is people that are also considered family, very close for us, that support us, because the second house is underneath you. So it's something that you sit on that gives you support and stability. So you can stabilize somehow the situation practically, financially, materially in the first part. And you can receive something as well. But after that, towards the end of the week, the shift turns. And then finally we have the final eclipse happening on the axis of your 12th and 6th houses, with the focus being on the 6th house for your Pisces, because the lunar eclipse is happening here in the 6th house from Pisces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you see. But that's for the past 2 years, there were some shifts and big changes happening in regards to your work, health, in regards to some of you change jobs. Like I know a lot of Pisces that sudden fated events with losing jobs, starting jobs, having to redirect their working environment overall, their health habits, their routines as well, something to do with debts as well. So there were some big shifts that are happening. It's the culmination, is the last one. So maybe it's like a message for you, this eclipse, that the last few changes at your work, especially if the eclipse is affecting a personal planet of yours, then you'll see the material, some big changes happening in career, in or health habits, on how you maintain your body. And that's basically, you'll see if the eclipse is happening and it's personally affecting you specifically, not just like on an emotional, psychological level, like a feeling. If the sun, like I showed you from the birth, from the transit calendar, is making conjunction, opposition, or even a square to a planet in your horoscope on the 2 days before and after the eclipse. So yeah, that it's concluding it, guys, Pisces. So no more surprises here for you. That's the last surprise, though. And hopefully you manage to organize yourself better during those eclipses, to learn to be more efficient, to learn to take better care of your health, to learn to be more un-Pisces-like, organized, sixth house, more paying attention to details. And now is the last time this, the universe is trying to do those things for you. So thank you so much, guys. That was, I gave it all. So thank you so much again. Check out, if you want, the calendar for 2019, which shows you what are the events for each week. And then if you have for free a week ahead transits, you can always go ahead with the weekly calendar and see, like I'm gonna have an important date on the 15th or 14th of February. Let me see how it's gonna go. And you see that on the 14th of February, for example, on the transit calendar, 2019, on the 2019 calendar, you see that there will be Venus square Mars, and that's about fighting. And you're like, is it gonna really affect me? Are we gonna fight? Is it gonna, and just ending up with sex or something passionate? But and you go to the free birth, to the free transit calendar that I showed you, and you see if Mars or Venus are making hard aspect, so square or opposition or conjunction to personal planets, two planets in your horoscope, then maybe it's not the best time for a date, So I showed you how to work with that. Watch the video a few times. But I'm giving you here free tools, and I really hope, well, if you want to unlock more, they're not free. Gotta live too, you know, gotta pay the bills. But yeah, you can do it for, you know, you can do it for free as well if you have other ways to see the transits ahead. So thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed that. Come and join us in Bulgaria. And yes, and I don't know what else can I advertise you. Because on Aquarius, I'm using the business influences of being a smart Trine, if you're gonna be watching. But okay, I'm not gonna advertise you anymore. I forgot to tell you, I started doing Facebook videos on they're like 20, 30 minutes. And some people don't have Facebook, I know. So what I'll try to do is, and I do them live because I want to interact with people, and they are not predictions. They're like the one I taught last time was about soulmate compatibility, and I gave you a few secrets. They're very high, very, very ancient astrology secrets, and amazing methods. So I'm going to be going live and talking about such things, and like I want to talk about sex and astrology, around more topics that are not just predictions. I want to get back into talking, guys, about general astrology, and actually combining it with psychology and combining it with methods how to improve on certain, you know, if it's challenging influences, and occult methods for transforming changes. So I'm going to try and develop that. And if you don't have a Facebook, I'll try to also upload each video here, and hopefully you enjoy that too, you know. I'll start doing that soon. So thank you so much. Enjoy the final lunar eclipse. And if I'm still alive, if I'm not pregnant again or something, something again surprising, I don't want to challenge God, but the universe, whatever it is coming with this eclipse, is personally affecting me. Please, God, protect everyone, protect not only my viewers, the whole world, but everyone who is watching this video, and help us go through that eclipse unscarred, and help us accept the changes and the fated events that you have in store for us, and to integrate them and to do the best with those energies. Amen.